Digging many holes tonight. What's going on, everybody? Disney Dan here. Welcome back into the stream, and welcome to the Disney movie review of the movie Holes. It's going to be a fun-filled, I'm trying to add in like a pun-filled stream. That was really bad.
We're going to do our very best to poke holes in this movie.
Yep, more holes than Swiss cheese. But hey ho, what's going on? Good to see everybody. Disney Dan is back. We are here with my buddy Walt from Mouse Dog. What's up, brother?
What's up? Good to have you back. Good to be back. I missed you guys. I'm sorry about last week, but you know, it was pressing matters to attend to. I think Melissa did just valiantly, and so did Sai.
It was so great to see Sai last week doing the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh Disney movie review from the last episode. We are back for the movie Holes, released in 2003, believe it or not. Yeah. The year of Finding Nemo as well. But it's going to be an interesting stream. We've got a lot to talk about. But before we do any of that, we have to see who's in the chat first. The bottomless pit of chat. See, pit. I'm going to stop that. Valkyrie, welcome into the stream. Samantha Lowe,
happy birthday, Sam.
Happy birthday, Sam. Miss you like crazy. Hope you're doing well. And love to the family. What's up, brother? RobFuz, my partner channel. Good to see you, Rob. Hope you're doing well, brother. Joe Saunders, what's going on? Good to see you. Sorry, guys. I will be asleep in 30 minutes' time. 10:30 here in the UK. It's that time here as well. Well, not now. It was
then.
Yeah, there you go. And I have an early Monday morning. I will catch up tomorrow. Enjoy it and see you soon. Well, thank you so much for joining. Catherine will be so good to see Catherine. We're going to scroll down. What's up, Anna Isabel? Good to see you. Welcome in. Keith BDF, what's up? We got the wonderful Hannah Wagon. Hi, guys. We'll be listening to your reviews as background noise as I try to fall asleep. Well, hopefully it's not boring enough for you to fall asleep. Hopefully we're keeping you awake. And then once we finish, then you can,
exactly.
There we go. No, we love you, Hannah. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully there's not any holes in Dan's internet. Well, let's not. What is Walt doing right now? What is he doing? I was gonna say, welcome to the backside of Walt.
Sorry, I had to turn on Flynn.
I love that, by the way.
The light is reflecting on it, but
I love that. Flynn's Arcade. Candy from Cynthia, so good to see. I actually got a message from Cynthia maybe about an hour before the show saying I've just finished Holes, and it was
good.
So good to see Cynthia here. Thank you for being here. Melissa from Mouse Dog. What's up, Melissa? So lovely to see you. Charles Weiss, welcome.
Hey, Charles, what's up, my man?
We've got Julia Jones here. Welcome, Julia Jones. We got some amazing people here. Hannah goes, no. If I fall asleep, then I'm relaxed enough. Well, there you go. But it's so good to see everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. It's going to be a great show tonight, talking about 2003's Holes with Shia LaBeouf, which always reminds me of, how the people in Princess and the Frog pronounce their names in Princess and the Frog, because there's like sort of that French twang, Shia LaBeouf. But anyway, the French, I don't know, whatever. And Sigourney Weaver, Ripley herself is
Here's the thing about this movie. You're right. Well, first off, it's introducing Shia LaBeouf. And if you watch in the very beginning, this is where they say, and introducing Shia LaBeouf. So this is one of his first movies he ever did. But I got to admit, Dan, I agree with you. When I looked at this, I'm like, John Voight is in this movie.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver is in this movie. Henry Winkler is in this movie.
Yeah.
The Fonz. Roma Mafia is in this movie. If you know who she is, she plays she always plays attorneys, to be honest with you. She just does. There are stars.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Yes, Tim Blake Nelson.
Who was the guy in The Incredible Hulk who was supposedly to become the leader.
That's right. He was leader. That's right. He was in the end of that. Yep. So he's in this as well. There are stars in this movie as I'm watching it, because for me, this was the first time I had never seen this. Yeah. And somebody had mentioned this. Somebody said before, is this like a a sequel to Tremors. That's really what I thought it was. I did. I thought that's what it was. I thought, oh, is this like some kind of spin-off to Tremors or something? Has nothing to do with any of that.
No. John Zuffbaum, what's up? Good to see
Hey,
you.
John. Matt's here too.
We got Matt Sibber too. What is up? Good to see you as well. But yeah, it's the cast was pretty good. Like it is. I mean, any film with Sigourney Weaver is always, very promising. I mean, having Ripley in your movie, I mean, one of the best female protagonists of all time in one of your movies, it has to be a good thing.
Look, this is John Voight, the guy that was in Deliverance. He was in National Treasure as Nicolas Cage's dad.
He was, wasn't he?
That's Nicolas Cage's dad. If you ever watched the show Ray Donovan, he's Mickey Donovan in that TV show. John Voight, he's also the dad of none other than Angelina Jolie. So John Voight's a pretty established actor himself.
Yeah. Paul Angle, what's up?
Hey,
Good
Paul.
to see you. Welcome in. So we've got a fantastic cast. Now, I've never seen the film before either. I actually remember reading the book when I was at school. When I was studying English at school, I remember reading Holes. Because this was a book that had been released a while ago. But yeah, I'd never seen the movie, and neither had you. So it's quite a nice sort of experience. And this is what we kind of love about the Disney movie review, because, everyone has seen Beauty and the Beast. Everybody has seen Star Wars or whatever it is. But it's so nice to actually watch a film that neither of us have ever seen and go in with fresh eyes. So it's kind of nice to go into films like this.
Now, let me ask a question, because I don't know. I really legitimately don't know the answer. And Melissa and I, and even Mason, kind of went back and forth on this. Was this a Disney Channel movie, or was this an actual theatrical release movie? Does anybody know?
Now, from what I've read, this was a feature film. This was
okay.
not a Disney Channel original movie.
Okay.
I can see how it might have been confused as one. But I'm pretty sure I think this was a film that was one of those feature films that you could watch it on Disney Channel, but never was released by Disney Channel as a Disney Channel original movie, if that makes sense. Like you could watch it on there, but it never was. Hey, K Atwood, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
And that's what everybody's saying in the chat too. They're saying what you said, Dan. It was a theatrical release. Okay.
Right. Now, 2003. Now, when I was watching this film, I could not believe that this was 2003. This felt like this came out in the late 90s. I felt like, if you put this up against Finding Nemo the same year, I couldn't believe that these two were released in the same year. This felt a little bit older, but there are definitely aspects of the film that show their age. Like, I don't think it's aged very well, this film, in my personal opinion. It does feel very retro, if that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. There's something about it that just didn't quite sit with me in terms of, like, it felt older than it actually was. I don't know. It's nearly 20 years old, so I guess it does feel old.
Yeah, and his name is, first off, the whole point and premise of the movie is the Yelnats curse, because his name is Stanley Yelnats. Well, his last name is just Stanley spelled backwards. That's all it is. It's just his. Never mind. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of kooky, but yeah, Stanley Yelnats. So I'll let you go ahead. I'm sorry, I had to say that.
So we'll start off with the film. We'll pick things up. We'll just run through the movie and discuss what we like and what we disliked. So Stanley, what city is he from? Pennsylvania or somewhere like that?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're somewhere out west, aren't they?
West, possibly.
Maybe Pennsylvania.
West Pennsylvania. I didn't say West Pennsylvania.
Oh, I thought that's what you just said.
Did I?
I don't know where they're living, but I mean it's got to be out west somewhere in the desert. Which we'll get to that.
I guess the film has ditched its youth. Yes.
Good job,
probably.
Hannah. Ditched. It's good.
Yeah.
Ditched
I bet you she didn't even mean to write that as a pun. What's up, Wendy Lou?
Wendy's here too. What's up, Wendy?
Welcome in. So okay, maybe they are in West Pennsylvania because this film doesn't make any sense. I don't know. And basically, Stanley gets caught with a pair of shoes. It looks like somebody was on the run. It was kind of like falsely accused of stealing these pairs of shoes, these pair of sneakers, trainers. If you're from the UK,
right?
Just had to say that because I've got some UK listeners.
Well, the whole thing starts is his family's cursed. Stanley Yelnats curse goes back and back and back. And his dad is an inventor. His dad is Henry Winkler, and he's trying to come up with this odorless shoe that no matter how many times you wear it, it never has an odor to it. And it's kind of kooky and funny. But all of a sudden, he's walking home from school or somewhere, and these shoes hit him in the head. And that's all you see. You think, oh, my God, the curse is so weird that all these shoes out of nowhere hit him. Well, they were stolen.
Yeah.
Right. These are special shoes that were signed by a professional. I guess he's supposed to be a professional basketball
player or something like that.
And actually, it is. It's Rick Fox, who, by the way, was a professional basketball player.
Right.
And he's found with them because he picks them up when it hits him in the head. And the police come and they get him and they accuse him and convict him of theft and kind of send him away.
Running out of synonyms for holes.
That's all right, Hannah. Don't you worry about it.
Don't worry. I'm sure there'll be plenty.
Baseball player, Charles said. Why did they just do basketball, Charles? I don't understand that. I mean, Rick Fox is a basketball player. They could have done basketball,
I don't know. Doesn't make any difference, really. But, is what it is. But he gets wrongly accused, and they send him off to this camp time. And this isn't no camp. This is literally a prison where they just dig holes. They just dig holes in the desert. Anyone what? Anyone wants some onions now? Oh, yeah. So they get sent off to this camp where their main goal is to dig holes. We get to meet Mr. Sir, which I think is hilarious. Yes, sir. No, it's Mr. Sir.
Right, and that's what it's on his license plate and everything. And the really weird part about it is, let me just say, you're right. Dan's right. They're just digging holes, and you're like, why in the heck are they There's actually you don't find out right away, but there's actually a purpose to them digging holes.
Yep.
They don't reveal what that is for a while in the movie. It takes a while, but every morning they have to get up and they have to dig holes. And they're always said, if you find anything out there, let us know immediately.
Now they have now the boys that Stanley meets all have different names. So they obviously have their name that they were given to his birth, but then they also have like their prison name. So there's Zero, who becomes a very, very key character. You got Squid, Armpit, which I think is hilarious because why would you want to name yourself an armpit? I don't know. X-Ray, because that sounds very threatening. Magnet, Zigzag, Twitch, which was a very late comer to the film.
Very late.
Bath Bag, which I think is why would you want to name yourself Bath Bag? But like, if I was a kid criminal, these would be like the last names I'd want to call myself. Like, why would you want to call yourself X-Ray? He sounds like an X-Men. Because
he can see right through you.
Yeah.
You can't get nothing past him. He can see right through it.
I don't know. So he meets all these different characters. They're all, pretty. Let's be honest. If you did go to prison or if you were convicted for something, everybody who is already there would be sort of looking at you as the new boy, the new kid on the block, and start threatening you, and they would be intimidating, which they were. They were not very, very nice. And it seems like, and it seems like the only nice character, well, relatively nice person at the camp was Dr. what's his name? Pedansky, which is by Tim Blake Nelson, who's kind of like he's almost like a coach.
He's like a psychiatrist coach. Yeah, he's there to make them become better people. That's what they lead you to believe at first, anyway. But Dan's right. I mean, this kid, he's kind of a fish out of water because ultimately Stanley is a good kid. I mean, he was falsely accused of stealing these sneakers. He didn't do it. No. And but he was sent to this camp anyway. And he's a good kid. And the kids that are there rightfully are there. They've done something that has put them in this position where he has not actually. And the area where this camp is like they are miles upon miles from any kind of civilization or water in any and all direction. And that plays an important part for later in the film. So I just want to kind of put that out there that where they are is out in the middle of nowhere pretty much.
Hannah says, when you pulled this a couple of weeks ago, I thought I'd never seen this before, but after listening for a bit, I have seen it.
Okay, good.
Candyman says Dan's name would be Pickles. Yeah, because that wouldn't get me beaten up enough if I went to that camp. Hey, look, man, it's Pickles. The guy with the beard and the glasses. Hey, Pickles, come over here, dude. So they end up in this barren wasteland almost. Like there's nothing there. There's barely any water. The water comes out of a truck. And everyone's just not very nice. He's having, let's be honest, it's not like summer camp. This is just
it's prison. It really is prison. It's a reform school prison, whatever you want to call it. It's hard times. Yeah. I mean, they're in an area like Dan said where it never rains. Everything's dry. The only water you get is the water they give you, and it's a precious commodity out there for sure, especially when you're out there all day digging holes. And they say the faster you dig and get your hole, it's got to be 6 feet in diameter and 6 feet deep. And the faster you get it dug, the faster you're done for the day and you get out of the heat.
Yep.
And he's not good at digging. He's not good at digging.
But the person who is good at digging is this kid called Zero, who we don't really know much about. He doesn't actually talk to anybody except for Stanley. And he's very, very good at digging holes. But we find a little bit of information about him that he can't read. He doesn't know how to read. He doesn't know how to write. But what he does, he kind of sort of supports Stanley, sort of against sort of the bullies and all that kind of stuff within the camp. But again, it's kind of like it is building sort of sympathy for this character, this sort of side character that supports him. So that's quite a good thing to find. Hannah says, Cynthia, I watched it in the school years ago, and I can remember certain parts. If this is the film that I think it is, there's one part that scared me and gave me nightmares. Well, I hope it's not like the Banshee from Darby O'Gill and the Little People, but
yep, he'll get to come hither after you.
But Hannah, it is on the British reading list because I remember doing it when I was at school. So you might have watched a little bit when you're in school. But yeah,
right. And the other thing too that we need to remember, the whole time we're getting backstories. We're actually getting two different backstories here. We're getting the backstory of his great grandfather, Stanley Yelnats the First, I guess, and how the curse became the curse. And from there, we're also getting the story of a kind of a love story back then. And I'm looking for her character, played by Patricia Arquette, another star, called Kate Barlow, who was a school teacher back during that time, who was kind of in this town and fell in love with someone that she couldn't really fall in love with. And we're getting her backstory as well. And ultimately, see, at first I got to admit, Dan, I was kind of confused. I'm like, why am I getting these two stories?
Yeah.
I don't understand how they're connected. As we go on, we do find the connection. We actually do get it. But I got to bring that up because it's important, because it leads into everything about the story. Is this Kate Barlow, her back then, and who she becomes after a tragedy in her life. So I just want to put that out there.
I will say that the backstories, the flashbacks, really put me off the film. They just really took me out of the moment, took me out of the scenes. It's kind of like, why are we focusing on the stuff in the camp and then moving away to it's like watching a completely different movie.
Well, I agree with you until the end when it came together.
Agreed.
I agree with you. I was in the same boat. I felt to myself, I'm like, I don't understand why do we need this? But when the end comes, and we'll get there, then it makes sense. And you're like, oh, okay.
Geeking Out with Eddie Mel, so
Mel.
good to see you. Thank you for being here. So good to happy weekend.
Good to see you.
So, yeah, it's interesting. We will obviously talk about what happens at the conclusion of that, but I think when the movie just jumps to those scenes, they kind of do it very abruptly, and it kind of takes you away. It kind of feels like they do it at the wrong time, if that makes sense.
Well, nothing really leads into it. You're right. No. We just like all of a sudden we're talking about one thing, and then all of a sudden we go over to them. And fair enough. It is what it is. But this whole time, Dan's right. We're there, and we're talking about, they're out there, they're digging the holes every day, this, that, and the other, and they have their little side stories where one kid is the bully on Stanley, and then the other kid he fights with a little bit here and there, and we have those little side stories. But then all of a sudden, we are actually introduced to Sigourney Weaver's character, the warden. Okay, and that's kind of where we start to get an idea of how these two storylines are going to start to come together. Yep. Because they're actually out there. Hey, what's up, Richard?
Hey, Johnson, what's up, brother?
They're actually out there digging for a reason.
Yeah. Now, they actually find something. For one, it kind of looked like a bullet.
Yes, that's what I thought it was.
That's what I thought what it was. And so Stanley finds this bullet, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I found something." And he goes up to, I believe it's X-ray, and he goes, "Hey, look, I'm going to show them what this is. I found something." I get to go and cool off for the day, and X-ray takes it,
kind of bullies him, says it,
bullies him into taking.
Hey, you just got here. I've been digging for weeks. I dig all day. You should let me have it so I can get the day off.
And he does take it. Sigourney Weaver's character, the warden, comes down, and we finally get to meet her, and he gets the day off. Like, he gets given they give her the bullet and 3 days. So Stanley is kind of being cheated out because he's the one that actually found it. Geeking Out with May Mel says, "I don't think I've ever watched Holes. I remember seeing previews for it on Disney Channel, but I don't think I ever watched it."
No. Definitely go watch it. Yeah. Definitely go watch it, Mel. We'd like to hear your opinion at some point of what you thought of it. Back to that bullet, I'll call it a bullet for now. It actually had initials on it, KB. Which, we just talked about a character. Which I didn't put 2 and 2 together, dumb me at the time. But yeah, it actually had the initials KB on it too.
So there's a bit more sorts of stuff that's happening in the past. We still see this teacher who's having this love interest with a character that you wouldn't typically see during those times.
Well, he's a black character. I'll just be honest with you.
Yeah,
she's a white teacher. He's a black character. Obviously, back in that time with segregation and just the racial injustices that we had back then, even today in many cases. But that just wasn't. It was frowned upon big time, and that was. It was sad. That part of it was kind of sad how that ended.
And it was, and the teacher actually had sort of a pupil, an adult pupil in her class, who really was taking the funds of her, and he was sort of being very forward, like let's go and get a drink and let's hang out, and she was flatting out rejecting him,
right.
And this caused a big sort of issue. which we'll get onto. No, they show you kissing Kate Barlow's scene because the warden, great-great-grandfather, owned the lake. Where they are digging the holes that the drought happened because they killed Sam. So two different. Yes, I think that's kind of one of the reasons why.
Right. No, I Charles is right. I mean, but that's not a story that's made unless I just missed it. Again, I wasn't fully invested in it, and I think you'll see that in my when we get to the end here.
Yeah.
I don't think that was fully apparent at first. I understood that was the backstory, and we get there, Charles. You're right. I understand why, but that's not really brought together and explained fully until the end.
Yeah. Yeah. We're only just going by what we see at that time. I think the great-grandfather did say when
he may have.
When he was talking to the teacher, like his dad owns the lake or something.
Right.
Let's go for let's go for a sail. Let's go out and have a romantic whatever. But again, it's never like. This is one of the things I really don't like about film. It's one of my biggest pet peeves about film. I hate things that are told and not shown. Like there's a lot of exposition and not a lot actually seeing, right? And I think that's one of the big issues in lots and lots of films, that we're told things without being shown them. We're just given load of information, but yet we don't actually see it. Right. And that's one of my biggest things that
Right. And Charles kind of gives away, not gives it away, but explains it. Sigourney Weaver is related to Kate, I guess, in some way, shape, or form. I think is she related? See, that's where I'm lost.
She's related to the great-grandfather who got rejected because he owned the lake
and shot the guy.
And shot the guy, and then he kept making Sigourney Weaver's character as a child kept sort
That's right. Had to keep digging and digging and digging. I got it now. I'm sorry. So kissing Kate Barlow actually became a thief. She would go around and she would steal from people, steal their jewelry, steal their golds and things like that.
Because her love interest was killed.
Because he was killed
by
Sigourney Weaver's great-great-great-grandfather. Right. Yeah. So that's right. And that's why because that used to be a river. That used to be a lake or a river or something there. And it dried up because of that, terrible murder that they did all those years ago. And so Sigourney Weaver's been digging holes out there for years, since she was little. And the reason why they're digging is because they feel that there's treasure out there somewhere.
Yeah. So we'll come back to the character of Zero now. Now he has been learning with Stanley how to speak and how to write and how to read, which I think is I think it's one of the few things about this film that shows a lot of character development, and which I really enjoy seeing. It becomes quite a pivotal role, a pivotal moment in the film.
It does.
And it came to a point where Stanley was like, right, I'll help you to read, I'll help you to write if you help me dig my holes. Which Zero's like, yeah, that's fine, let's do that, a cool deal. And then there was one day where they're digging the holes, Mr. Sir and the coach, Mr. Paninsky, whatever his name was, Paninsky, they come and see them, and everyone's sort of complaining why Zero is helping out with Stanley's holes. Like, it's why does he get sort of special treatment? And Stanley was up front. He said, look, I'm helping him to read and write. And they're kind of joking around. Oh yeah, he can't read, he can't write. And they're asking him to spell cat and all that kind of thing. And he takes the decision, Zero takes the decision to run away. He chooses to, run, get out while he could. He took a shovel and tried to escape.
Well, kind of. The psychiatrist is actually really not nice to Zero at all. He always puts him down, says he's stupid, he can't learn anything, he's worthless, blah, blah, blah. And he was there when he was telling him, hey, I'm helping him to read. And he literally said to him, what does CAT mean? And, Zero was tired of the badgering, and he hits him. He hits him with the shovel. He hits him over the head with the shovel. And then after he hits him over the shovel, he goes, cat. and then he runs off. He didn't just run off to run off. He ran off because first he hits him. And he was just tired of it. And Dan's right. He was tired of the badgering from the psychiatrist. And he ran off. But like I said earlier, where's he running to? Because there's nowhere to go in any direction.
Nowhere to go. Nowhere to
that
go.
we know of.
That we know of. And then we get to sort of a little bit of a change where Stanley is now being supported by the boys in the camp. So Armpit and all those characters. And they make up a sort of plan to try and get Zero back. And they were digging holes, and Stanley decides to steal the Mr. Sir's truck with the help of Twitch, who's a new kid in the camp who's really interested in like cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And he helps Stanley sort of steal the truck, which he crashes into a hole, which is still funny. And he runs off and tries to find Zero. Hey, LSU Mom, what is?
Hey, Emily,
going
welcome
on?
in. And Emily's right. Folks, that's a big no-no with YouTube.
Big no-no.
That's a big no-no. So you definitely want to stay away from that because that will get you in some serious hot water.
Yeah. Please don't do that. Let's all be friends here. Let's all have a good time. Yes. So he tries to track down Zero, and we end up in this. I don't even know where Zero ends up. It's kind of like underneath like a truck or something that has lots of food.
It's a boat.
Oh, it's a boat.
It was actually the boat the guy got murdered in.
See, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that was if you looked at the name on the boat, if I'm not mistaken, Charles, and anybody else in the chat, if you remember, if I'm not mistaken, that's the boat that the guy was in when he was trying to get away when they murdered him.
See, I didn't even notice that. I thought that would have been long gone after because both these time periods would have been very far apart, surely.
Hundreds of years. We're talking, at least 100 years, if not more.
So I didn't think that was the same boat. I didn't even think that was a boat at all. But who am I to know? Quite cool, actually. A good sort of Easter egg there, I guess. A good sort of blend in. And Zero was happily just chilling in there. He was eating the resources that were there. And Stanley's like, hey, listen, we need to go. You're going to run out of food eventually. And he actually gives Stanley the last bit of food, really. And they decided to try and walk back to camp. But they see this sort of mountainous area. And he was talking about Stanley's great-grandfather who was walking the desert for all those crazy long years.
Well, and we didn't really get into that backstory, but Stanley's great-great-great-grandfather thought he fell in love with this one girl, and he wanted her, and basically it came down to him and somebody else, and the other person was this old guy. Just that part was kind of out there. But he went to this, I don't want to call her a witch doctor. I don't even know what she was. If she was like a tarot reader or a gypsy or something. And asked for her to give him a blessing that he was going to get the girl. And she said, look, we'll give you blessings, but you've got to take me to the top of this mountain or you'll be cursed for eternity. So he goes back. He thinks he's going to win the girl. And the girl actually doesn't choose him right away. He thinks, oh, she's definitely going to choose me. I bring the cow that they wanted, this, that, and the other. But then she's kind of hesitant. So he gets kind of mad and is like, you know what? Never mind. I don't want you. And off he goes. Well, he forgets to take the gypsy up to the top of the mountain. That's why they've been cursed all those years. Because she cursed them because he never took, I don't remember what her last name is. He never took a such and such up the mountain.
Yeah, so Charles Wise says Madame Zeroni.
Zeroni. He never took a Zeroni up the mountain. Yeah. Right. A Yelnats never took a Zeroni up the mountain like he had promised. But actually, they do. which breaks the curse because when Stanley takes Zero up the mountain,
we finally get to know who Zero's actual name was, being that it was a Zeroni. And it all kind of sort of links back in. The curse has been lifted, and sort of that, the bad luck sort of goes away, and we get almost like straight away there's some good news, and Stanley's parents and the attorneys come to
get him,
come to help and get him, and they prove that he's innocent.
And why was he innocent? Who actually stole the shoes?
So we get another flashback where actually Zero stole the shoes.
Well, he didn't know. He just thought they were shoes. He didn't realize their significance.
No. But it was back in West Philadelphia, born and raised, wherever it was. There you go. That's our
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
There you go. That's our Fresh Prince one of
the week. I knew what you meant.
And he took the shoes, and he didn't realize they were significant. Then he started running with them. He took them off, and then he threw them off the bridge, and they happened to hit Stanley in the head at the start of the movie.
Right. And that's how it all went down. He didn't steal them. Zero stole them, but Zero didn't realize their significance and how expensive or valuable, I'll use the word valuable, they were.
Hey, Michelle Quilter, welcome.
Hey, Michelle, welcome in. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
But they did go back to camp. And this whole time, that camp was really being ran illegally. What Sigourney Weaver and them were doing there was really kind of wrong. I mean, they weren't treating those kids the right way, and what they were doing, they would get in trouble for what they were doing there if they were found out. And the attorney who was Roma Mafia comes and tries to get Stanley out a couple different times when they, kind of say, well, he's fled. We don't know where he is. He's missing at this point. But they do come back. Dan's right. They came back. Zero came back. Stanley came back, and they came back and they started digging for some reason. I think they found out what was going on, but they started digging, and they did actually find something.
Yeah, so they find a chest. Now, it's quite funny that they actually had a load of sort of lizards on top of them, and they were like, hey, we're going to stay in here the whole time until you guys sort of leave. And they find this chest with Stanley's name on it. So it belongs to his family, belongs to him. And inside, well...
Right. Is jewels, gold, treasure.
It's the treasure that everyone's been looking for.
Yeah. Now, Sigourney Weaver, that's what she's out there looking for the whole time. Again, that was what the flashbacks were about. Her great-grandfather was looking all this time. She was born and raised doing that, and she kept doing it. And that's when she had this camp made and brought all these kids in. But it was all illegal. She wasn't supposed to be doing this. And, she thinks it's her treasure because it's on her land. But ultimately, it's his. It has his name on it.
You said born and raised. Clearly, Fresh Prince is still in your brain. In the playground, that's where I spend most of my days. Sorry. I really want to watch Fresh Prince right now. Anyway. So, yeah, it belongs to Stan. Well, it belonged to actually Stanley's great-great-grandfather, but obviously the name was passed down from generation to generation. Clearly, for this reason. So they arrest Sigourney Weaver and Mr. Sir and all the staff there, and Stanley was like, hey, can we take Zero back with us? Because it's like really important and he's like a good friend. And I believe they said yes. I can't actually remember because at that point
he gets in the car.
Yeah, I was dozing off at that point. Charles is gonna kill me. But yeah, and that's pretty much it, I believe.
Well, the curse is lifted because the dad finally comes up with the odorless shoes. Something accidentally falls into the concoction. I don't remember what it was. I'm sure Charles knows. And it actually makes it so that the shoes are odorless. So now he's come up with this odorless shoe thing for everybody, and they kind of become rich and famous because of it. And so the curse is lifted, and his father becomes a success, and they have money, and they invite all the kids are all out of jail now. I guess they all reformed or whatever.
Hey, Christine Hitman, welcome in.
And Zero's mom comes back and tries. They finally get together. He reunites with his mom because she actually has been trying to find him, but she really doesn't have the resources, doesn't have the money. Yeah. Well, Stanley's family helped with that when they hit it big, and he got to reunite with his mom, which was a nice little touch. I like that. And that was really it. I mean, that's the entire story. Sigourney Weaver and her gang go to jail, and everybody else lives happily ever after.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Anyway, so that was our sort of run through of the film Holes. We're going to come to the point now in the show where we're going to involve you, the viewer, the listener, where you need to write in the chat. If you have seen the film, we want you to grade the movie from an A+ down to an F. We have given Fs on this show for being the really worst of the worst movies, A+ being the best. Give us your review. What grade would you give it? And give sort of a reason why. While you're doing that, Walt's going to give his review, and then I'm going to read through some of your grades, and then I'll give you my summary of the review, and then we'll pick our next film in about 5-10 minutes time. So stick around.
Yes, letter grades in the chat, guys, and we'll go over your letter grades in just a minute. Holes. It was fine. I wish I had Charles's love for this film. I don't. I'm surprised that this was a theatrical release. I'm shocked by that. This has all the makings of a Disney Channel movie. I don't know. I don't know how well it did or didn't do in the movie theater for its theatrical release. It was okay. Would I go back and watch this again? If I would not go back and watch it again. If it's on TV, would I stop and watch it? I hate to say it, I probably would not. The story was fine. It all comes together in the end, which is good. I'm glad. But I can't say that I enjoyed this that much. I didn't hate it. Parts of it were okay. I thought it was a little campy. John Boyd's character was totally over the top campy the entire time. But it was okay. And I didn't like the fact that, some of those kids in that camp weren't good to him the whole time. And we really didn't see a resolution. Like the one kid with the glasses that stole the lipstick, or the other kid that he fought with. We never really got a resolution between them. It's just all of a sudden, okay, hey, we're fine. We're buddies. I wanted more, especially for, again, a theatrical release movie. You've got time to do that. So overall, I wasn't thrilled with it. I didn't mind it. I got through it in one sitting, which is a big thing for me. For me overall, do I have one favorite character? Probably Zero. Probably for me would be my favorite character of all of them. But I would have to say my overall letter grade is going to be a D. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but possibly a D+, but I'm going to go with a D. It's, for Shia LaBeouf, I think he was on Even Stevens before he did this. Yeah. He's come a long way since this. But Holes isn't bad, guys. I definitely say go watch it.
Has he really come a long
way? No,
I
guess not. I guess not, really. I know they tried to, but yeah, I say zero. Yeah, to me, I got to give it a D. I'm sorry, Charles. I wish I could give it higher, buddy. But for me, it's going to get a D.
Let's be honest. The best thing Shia LaBeouf has ever filmed in front of a camera was the Just Do It thing. Like, he was terrible in Transformers. Just going back to how much the film made. The budget was $20 million. And the opening weekend was just under that at 16 and a half. And the total gross in the US was $67 million.
Well, it made money. I mean, if the budget was 20, yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. So you gave it a D+. Let's see what other people say. Charles says, I give the movie a solid B+. I grew up when this was created. I think Shia LaBeouf and Zero were great actors in this. Shia LaBeouf is a great actor. Greatest game ever played. Watch it. Okay, definitely have to give that film a go. Kenyon says, I was giving it a C. It's a lot of back and forth for me. Okay, I would always give it a C. Catherine Wilby. D. I can't bring myself to give an F. Oh, we can. Confusing, and I didn't like the bullies of Stanley. I was bullied. Yeah, I can.
Oh,
Yeah,
I get that, Catherine.
I get that, Catherine. Yep, I do feel that. So, no, Dan, the greatest game ever made. Yeah.
No, he's saying watch it. He's saying watch it. Watch greatest game ever played.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
It's a golf movie. If I'm
well,
not
no, that's what I meant. The greatest game ever played. Yeah, that I want to watch that.
Yeah.
For me, while I'm on the same lengths as you, I actually already put this down as a D+. For me, this was average at best. I did not enjoy. I think the expectations of going in this film, I thought were. Look, I wasn't expecting it to be amazing, but I didn't expect it to be bad. And I think the result was a little lower than what I thought it was going to be. Because I've heard sort of good things about it, but actually I think the book is a lot better than the actual film. I did not like the flashbacks. I thought they were done really poorly. I didn't like, again, with the characters, there was no sort of character development really in any character. You look at Stanley's character, the main character, he has no character development. He's just a nice kid. That's it. Like there's no sort of resolution for him. There's no sort of, I can't get behind our main character. To be fair, the only character that really had any form of character development was Zero. And that's probably why I liked him as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. This, I think I'm being a bit generous with the D+, but again, very underwhelming. This film made me just, I don't know, not angry, just disappointed. Just quite disappointed.
Well, yeah, I went in with no expectation. I didn't know. I didn't even know what it was. Again, I even thought the whole premise, I thought it was something to do with Tremors too. I really did. But so I had no expectation going in. I think Cynthia makes a good point. She's glad she watched it. It was something different. Yes, it was definitely different. Yeah. It was definitely different. But yeah, that's just me. I'm glad I watched it for sure, and I do recommend you go watch it. You may have a different opinion for sure.
Absolutely.
Charles says, "Wow." Charles says, "Wow, now I'm going to have to try and do this more often. See how we're different. See, my wife hates it because the flashbacks. I think these type of movies, or like these types of movies, because they're more challenging to understand.
No, for sure.
Challenging to understand, Charles. Inception is challenging to understand. Tenet is challenging to understand.
Oh, I love Tenet.
This just isn't put together well. I get what you're saying. I got you. I get it. It's not a
yes.
It had a $20 million cap. So
the story had all the potential, but I just don't think it was done well. I think a film. Let's be honest, this is a children's film. For it to be 2 hours, I think was a bit too long. I felt it was too long. I think this film could have easily been between an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. But yes, I think this was, a misfire for me.
And the $20 million that they spent on this film, probably that's in the pay salaries of the people that were in it.
Yes.
That's most of it, because it certainly wasn't in production.
No.
They filmed it out in the desert, So, but that's okay. I mean, I like this a lot better than some of the other ones I've watched. So, this is a lot better, in my opinion, than George of the Jungle.
So The Hole is better than The Black Hole, right?
Holes is better than The Black Hole, yes, for sure. By a little bit. It's close, though, for me.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Yeah, Charles is right. It is 3 different stories coming into one, and and they do it, and they ultimately get there. You're right. I think he's right.
Yeah, for sure.
Charles, that's okay. I know what he's trying to say. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Let's pick our next movie. So we've got to get our trusty box. let's take that big piece of paper. This is, you know what? This little piece of paper here, right? This is I write all of them on here, and I just rip them up and put them inside. I'm so terrible. Right? Okay, so we need a drum roll, everybody. This is going to be the film for next week. No, not next week. Our next episode, right? So our next episode, which will be in 2 weeks' time, because next week is like a big fake rugby game or something. I don't know, with helmets. It's the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So next weekend, Walt's team is in the Super Bowl. So I'm pretty sure whatever the film is, he would rather watch the Rams lose than watch the film. The Rams win, and then
we'll see. I have no idea if they're going to win or lose. We'll find out. I'm not going to jinx it.
So it won't be next week, it'll be the week after, so it's another 2 weeks, but it will be on Walt's channel the next week. Let's see what we got. All right, here we go. Gosh, I wish Inception was in here. Now that's a confusing movie. Right, let's go. Come on. There we go. Oh,
Charles says he watched The Black Hole. It didn't make 15 minutes. I get it.
Oh, there we go. This is very fitting because today is the anniversary of this film. And this film is a very, very special film to me.
Really? Oh, my.
This is...
You know I can't see that. Go ahead.
Let's see if you can read it. Oh.
Nope.
Peter Pan.
Oh, hey, look at you. That's a big one to you. That's Dan's favorite.
This is a big film for me. So
yeah, I wonder what Dan's going to rate it.
We'll see. But in 2 weeks' time on Walt's channel, we will be reviewing the animated super classic movie Peter Pan.
And we'll talk about the movie. We'll talk about its impact on the parks. Yes, all of that.
It will be a big episode. This will be a big episode.
Yeah, this will be a big one.
Be a really, really big episode. And we're looking forward to sharing that with you guys. Very, very, very exciting. I can't wait. And because he actually pulled out another one, and it was one that was fitting for you. So I had to see which one dropped first, and it was Cap 1.
Oh,
so I was just like, so either or, it was going to be a good one.
It was going to be a good one for sure. Yeah.
But thank you, everybody. This has been such a great episode. Great to see everybody here in the chat. I love everybody that's here and joining us. We've got a lot of fun things planned. So 2 weeks' time, we'll be back on Watch Channel for Peter Pan. A lot of fun things coming up.
Thanks, everybody. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's going to be really, really exciting. You know what? As we're on my channel, let's just break the ice. Let's just, as you guys are here because of, the love of the channel and the love of us. I'm just going to push it out there. I'm going to send it out there. A big announcement. I will be returning to Florida in December. There you go. There's no sugarcoating. I will be in Florida in December. It'll be 3 years since I was last in Florida.
Hi, Brian. Welcome in.
Hey, Brian. Not for 1, not for 2, not for 3, not for 4, not for 5 days, but for 15 days. That's a lot of days. But
it's more than 14 days.
It's more than 14 days. And we will be at Disney for Christmas, which is very exciting.
That is exciting.
So I look forward to seeing everybody who's out there. I look forward to seeing this guy.
That guy.
He knows that I'm going to give him the biggest, sweatiest hug when I see him.
It's going to be great. I can't wait, man. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait for you to get here.
It's going to be so much fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. And, Charles is there in November. Sorry, Charles. One day. But I thought I'd let you guys know now, counting down the days. But before that, we've got to get through the year 2022. And speaking of what's coming up, live streams, you're killing it this weekend. We got plans for next weekend in terms of live streams. We've got Sanity on Tuesdays.
Yeah, DIZNEYDAN on Tuesday night. We're not sure if it's going to be a home stream or if we're going to be on location for that one. But next weekend, we'll definitely be back in the parks. Obviously, we like to do Magic Kingdom on Sundays if we can. We like to do our kind of Sunday walk in the park. Saturday, we haven't been back to Animal Kingdom in a spell, so we're going to see about possibly an Animal Kingdom. But we do want to get over to Universal too. So look for a possible night stream Saturday night or maybe even Tuesday night from Universal as we do Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras started yesterday at Universal, and we want to get out there for that. And before the end of the month, a members-only stream will be back. We're going to do something fun for that. And so, yeah, lots coming up. We definitely appreciate it. December was a slow month, but January has really picked back up, and we're thank you to everybody for the support. It's just been great. We went over 11,100, and we're on our way to 11.2. So it's been awesome. Thank you, everybody.
And you know what else is coming up on your channel that I always love watching?
Oh, yeah, that's
the
right.
Madness.
I got to get that together. What am I thinking?
March Madness is coming.
Mouse Madness is right around the corner. Look for that.
Wait, because I want revenge from last year.
First time. A 5-time champion Haunted Mansion got dethroned last year by Pirates of the Caribbean. It was the first time ever.
Yep. But that is always very, very exciting. I love watching the Mouse Madness and how it all goes along. But lots of fun things coming up on Mouse Talk. Please, I know everybody here is subscribed to this wonderful channel, but if you haven't done, please go do so. They're like my, while Melissa like my family, so go subscribe to them. And,
we are family.
We are family. You know what we haven't done? A
karaoke night.
For the good of
all three. I was waiting till the end today.
I mean, we didn't even do it.
We didn't do it in the beginning. I was like, we got to start over.
We're going to do the whole. Actually, I really cannot be bothered to do another hour on holes again, unless it's Swiss cheese. Then that's fine. As for me, live streams, pop-ups, whenever. I don't really know, to be honest. So I'm going to keep doing these. Disney Fiasco whenever I get the chance to. But it's going to be crazy. I've got a break coming up soon from work in a week's time, so there'll be a few live streams there during that week. But that's it for me. Thanks so much, everybody. You can follow both of our channels, also on Twitter and on the Instagram as well. So please check both of our social medias out, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for Peter Pan, because next week is the most important thing, the FA Cup in England. Oh, and the Super Bowl. There you go. Bye, everybody.
For the good of all Cree.
For the good of all Cree. Bye.
Bye, gang.